strategic management, and then we proceed with the strategic planning process. Then we discuss the vision and mission. So, and then the last meeting we discussed the step 2 and step 3 of the strategic planning process. So, which are the external assessment or identifying the opportunities and threats. So, when we say opportunities, these are conditions or external conditions that will uh, help the company attain its vision and mission faster. While the threats, these are the barriers or limitations that the management cannot achieve, or the management and employees cannot achieve the vision and mission. So in short, in identifying opportunities and threats, so we have to consider, we have to understand the vision and mission of the entity. And then the third step of the strategic planning process is the internal assessment, or the identification of the strengths and weaknesses of the organization. So those strengths must be used to maximize the or take advantage of the opportunities, and at the same time countering the external threats, while the weaknesses must be corrected or minimized so that we can take advantage of the opportunities and lessen the impact of the external threats. So this evening we're going to discuss the last two processes or steps in the strategic planning process, which are the formulation of the strategies and implementation. Okay, so stage 4 or step 4 is formulating the strategies. So we can formulate strategies with the help of the SWOT analysis. Okay, so SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So the purpose of SWOT analysis is to optimize the organization's strengths and correct or minimize the weaknesses in order to take advantage of the external opportunities while countering the external threats. So SWOT analysis consists of generating a series of strategies or strategic alternatives that could be pursued given the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strategic alternatives are used to select the strategies that will do the most to align the company's assets or resources and capabilities to the demands of the external environment. So we have four general classifications of strategies. So we have the functional level. So the purpose of the functional level strategies is to improve the operations inside the company. So these are strategies mainly to improve the operations of the different departments inside the organization. So such as the manufacturing, marketing, materials management, product development, and customer service. Then second classification strategy is the business level strategy. So this is more on the external. Okay, so it's how you position the business in the market. So So how would the company class or how would the market classify you or classify the products and services produced by the company? The third classification of strategy is called the global strategy. So it involves strategies that how to expand operations outside the home country. So there are a lot of local there are a lot of businesses that are expanding globally with the hopes of growing further their profits. And then the last classification is called the corporate level. So these are the specific strategies that the company will do to maximize the long run profitability and profit growth. So emphasis on the long run profitability. So these are strategies that are not only that the business cannot only benefit temporarily, but it will extend for longer period of time. So functional level strategies. So these are developed to again to improve the effectiveness of the company's operations. So the reason why we are trying to improve the business operations because we want to achieve these four aspects. So we want to have a superior efficiency, the superior quality, superior innovation, and superior customer responsiveness compared with our competitors. So even if the business has no specific strategy, basta kay committed lang ang management or the employee and the employees towards achieving these goals. So the business can still be, uh, can lead the competition, okay, or can defeat its mga competitors. So, so the superior efficiency, so when we say efficiency, it refers to the using the least amount of resources while producing a great number of output. So, kumbaga, wala tayo waste and then all resources are maximized, okay, to produce more outputs. So, less defect, less waste, and less use of money, but still it can generate more outputs. So examples of the actions that the management can do to increase its efficiency are the following. So they can take advantage of the economies of scale and the effect that the learning has on efficiency. So economies of scale is using the same resources. However, the output is higher. So for example, compared with the labor-intensive operation or manufacturing, compared with the use of machines. So we can say that we are taking advantage of the economies of scale when we use the machines because the cost of those machines are fixed, diba? So the depreciation is fixed while the number of output it can generate is very very high. Unlike in the labor intensive, so of course more labor hours means more salary to pay. Then learning efficiency, of course, as we learn more, as we become more familiar in the production, so our output will also increase. So using the flexible manufacturing technologies, reducing customer loss rates, so we can do this by producing less defective units, okay, or uh, making sure that we are producing quality products. We have the adoption of the just-in-time inventory systems. So, pwede sa diri katong lean manufacturing or 5S or the total quality management. Then designing products that are easy to manufacture. We can also train the employees so that uh, they have they can create less defective products or they can improve their services. utilizing the self-managing teams, linking pay to the performance or to the output, making use of technology such as the web-based information systems to reduce the cost and coordination between the company and suppliers. Appeal na po dito ang implementation sa mga accounting softwares and the SAP or the Enterprise Resource Planning to reduce the cost of coordination and increase the communication, both inside and outside the organization. Building a commitment to efficiency throughout the organization. And lastly is to design facilities that will foster cooperation among the various functions in order to improve the efficiency. Okay, the second goal of the functional level strategy is to have a superior quality. So quality consists of reliability and excellence. So a reputation for quality gives a company means to differentiate its products from those of its competitors. So of course, if we produce quality products and services, superior quality compared with our competitors, so a lot of customers or a lot of market share will be uh, directed towards the company. So higher quality creates more utility in the opinion of the customers. So it also gives the company more options with respect to pricing. So the higher the quality of your products or services, um, the higher the or there's more room to as to the pricing sa pricing sa iyong products. So you have more options with respect to increasing or decreasing your prices. So furthermore, eliminating defects from the production process lowers the cost for the company and thus increase the profitability. So, the implementation of the total quality management so focuses on um, the quality inputs. So dapat sa raw materials, pagpili pa lang sa raw materials, quality na. So production is inanak gihapon, quality na pod, quality ang pagkahimo, and then the employees who are producing them are also quality, meaning they are experienced and talented, so that they can also give quality output. So improvement of the reliability of the product can be accomplished through the use of the Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is actually a derivation from the total quality management. So the Six Sigma is an approach to quality that strives to virtually eliminate the defects. So no mistakes, no defects, and no waste. So improvement of excellence involves improving not only the product attributes. So we say excellence, it's not only about the product we are talking to, but the total package. So it includes the service attributes and the personal attributes associated with the company's product. So another goal of the functional level strategy is the superior innovation. Okay, so in many ways, it is actually the most important source of the competitive advantage. So innovation can result in either improvement of the excellence of the products, or it can result into new products or entirely new products that will cater to the needs of the customers. So having an innovative product will help the company differentiate its product. So kung differentiate na to atong product, then it's an advantage because we can command the price, and it can also the innovation can also use to lower the cost compared to those of the competitors. So probably maka-discover og technology nga mas makaproduce og more output, or mas makaproduce og output with the least uh, defect, okay, or least amount of resources. So both of those can help the company increase its profits. However, the risk of having or pursuing the superior innovation is that it is costly, and only about 10 to 20% of the research and development projects actually become commercially successful products. So muna nga kaning research and development, it should be directed by or kung ano yun siya, i-manage di pagtarong sa top management. Because dili basta-basta mag-implement og mga research and development. It will cost a lot of money tapos the probability of success is not 100% all the time. So meaning the competitive advantage acquires continuing innovation. So if the company will pursue this, so dili na siya dapat mag-stop og acquiring more innovation because successful innovation tends to be imitated by the competitors. So maski pag ikaw ang nag-una-ana, mga pila lang ka days or months karon, other competitors will imitate your innovation. So that's why if the company will pursue this, so they should not stop continuing innovating their products. And then the last goal for the functional level strategy is to acquire the superior responsiveness to customers. So it's giving the customers what they want, when they want it, and at a price they are willing to pay. So even though we are catering to the price preference of the customers, so we should still do it profitably. Okay, so dapat nagyapoy kita. So responsiveness to customers is an important way for a company to build brand loyalty. So so it's a one way to build a brand loyalty and thus further differentiating yourself from the competitors. So a lot of companies are actually mahal. It's not because their products are, although yes, products sila are quality, but because they have already developed a brand. Okay, so mo na nga na at taas ang ilang premium or taas ang ilang charge sa ilang products. And even though they are not really the best in their company, but since they are the most well-known or they are the most popular, so the customers or the market will buy their products and services. So like for example, sa mga Apple products, Apple does not really produce the most quality or the most innovative nga a cell phone, but since they have already developed this brand, so muna siya nga they become already a status symbol for a lot of individuals. So that's why people buy Apple products. Some of them for personal or business use, but a lot of them really use the opportunity to kuan um, for for social belongingness kumbaga. So to become they're buying that for status symbol. If a company has strong product differentiation and enjoys strong brand loyalty, it will have more pricing options. So, the greatest brand, may baon mo ang brand nga gabi kataas kuan when the brand becomes already a word. Okay, so for example, so when we talk about photocopy, so a lot of people will say nga magpa-Xerox. Okay, when Xerox is actually a brand of a photocopier. Kung magpa-Kodak, so it refers to photography, but Kodak is actually a brand name. Okay? So, napi mga kuan, palit ka sa tindahan, so palit ka Colgate nga close-up, so it actually um, has a subtle meaning, di ba? So, the brand, kung gamito na ni mga phrase, it means that the Colgate brand is higher compared to the other toothpaste nga brands. So even Google is a company, but actually we are using the word now when we refer to research or searching for information. So so these are the indications that the product or the company has really a strong brand loyalty, and these products can command higher prices for their products. The factors of efficiency and quality go along with being responsive to customers. So, so as we have defined kaina, it's giving the customers what they want and when they want it. So all of the three mentioned kaina, katong superior quality, superior efficiency, and superior innovation can still be part of the superior responsiveness to customers. So, so all of those efficiency and quality and being innovative is actually giving customers what they want. Okay, so that's why the number one, two, and three are also part of the superior responsiveness to customers. So another type of strategy is called the business level strategy. So kung gayon na it's more on the operations or internal operations, business level strategy is actually more on positioning the business to the outside or to the market. So it's a selection and pursuit of a business model that permits the company to compete effectively. So business level strategies that create competitive advantage contribute to a successful business model. So as we have already defined, business model is a series of strategies on how the business will cater to the needs or satisfy the needs of their target market. So to be able to develop a business model that will really fit into the strategy, so the managers must decide, so must answer the following issues to determine how will they formulate and implement in order to put the company's business model into actions. So these are the following decisions that each manager must decide so that they can formulate and implement a business model. So these decisions are the following. So first is the decisions about customers' needs and wants, and what needs and wants are to be satisfied. So when you talk about need, it does not only refer to the direct need niya masatisfy sa usa ka product. Like for example, sa food, okay, of course, it's direct nga masolve niya is the hunger of an individual, but actually buying food is not, the hunger is not only the need, di ba? So, kay kung kana lang, so there are a lot of mga fast food chains and mga karenderya, but nga nung naamag ito specific nga fast food chain nga ginabalik-balikan o karenderya nga ginabalik-balikan. So, it's not only about the hunger, so perhaps the other needs such as probably kana nga place has a good ambience. So perhaps the need is for Instagram, okay, for social status. Okay, so dapat we should be able to identify those subtle needs of the customers, so that we can formulate the right business model. So for example, kanong dagay magkape sa Starbucks o sa Boss Coffee nga pwede ra man tana sa balay magkape. Sa may naa sa ila nganong kinahanglan dito mangyud. Okay? Or a fast food chain, so anong lamang kita gina-prefer nga fast food chain, unsay naaana niya nga wala sa uban. So it does not only answers the direct nga need, but also the other needs nga probably the customer knows or the customer does not know. Second type of decision nga dapat i-consider sa management is what the product should be offered and to which customer groups they should be offered. So what products should be offered, and what is our customer or target group or target customer group. So the company needs to group customers according to their needs in order to determine what products to develop for each different kind of customer. So for example, naghimo ka og restaurant or na kay for example karinderya, and then ang imong karinderya is dool sa eskwelahan. So probably your target group is the students. And knowing the students' needs, so dili gid sila ingon kaayo mupalit og product nga very mahal. So you have to design your food nga medyo affordable sa students. Okay? And if you're catering to high-end customers, so inana gyapon, you should be able to, the pricing is part of the decision. So which products ang dapat i-offer and what is our target market. Third is the decisions about how customers' needs are satisfied using the company's distinctive competencies. So how are we going to satisfy those needs? So muna ang sa ikatulong nga decisions. So buffet ba or per table? Okay, so depende. So in order to achieve profitability that's greater than the average in the industry, so the company must implement and formulate a business model that is very specific, that has a specific competitive position in relation to its competition. So the following generic competitive strategies will give the company a competitive advantage. So we have already discussed the competitive advantage. So, so it's actually your edge over other competitors. So these are the following generic competitive strategies that a business can pursue. So the first type of strategy is called the cost leadership, or having a lower cost structure than all of its competitors. So mangita taog way how we can price our products lower than the competition. So this is actually based on the law of quantity demanded and law of quantity of the law of demand, diba? Which states that as the price goes lower, the higher the quantity demanded. Okay? Of course, that is ceteris paribus, or other things held constant. So, so those who are pricing lower than their competitors are most likely attracting more customers, especially if the quality is somehow the same. Then second type of strategy is called the focused cost leadership. So this time you are not catering to average customers, but you already identified your target market. Okay? Kung asa ka lang dapat asa lang na nga type sa market nimo i-implement nga a strategy. So you are competing within a narrow market segment using the strategy of cost leadership. So for example, you are making bricks nationally, but eventually you decided na dili na ka mag-supply nationally, but rather focus your business towards delivering bricks to the local or to the near uh, municipalities. So might be a local brickyard where bricks are manufactured on site and delivered directly to the local construction sites. Now, another generic competitive strategy is called the differentiation. So it is based on achieving a competitive advantage by providing a product that is different or unique in some important way. So the differentiation is due to superior innovation, excellent quality, or superior responsiveness to customers' needs. So, abantay mo nga na yung mga products nga maski mahal, dagan gyapon sila og demand. Okay? So, for example, for Apple products, so they are not implementing the cost leadership nga strategy. So as we know, they are using the differentiation. So they are focusing their business operation towards producing innovative na mga gadgets, so delivering quality products, and of course superior responsiveness to customer needs. And because all of these are very costly, so mga innovation, quality, and responsiveness, that is why these products are very, very expensive. But because of this, ma-justify man na nila because uh, klaro man sad ang output. Okay? Quality man sad yun ang output. So that's why they can command a price na higher than their competitors. Focus differentiation is a model that specializes in serving the needs of just one or two market segments or mga niches. Okay, so that's why it's called focused kay dili sa tanan tao nimo na siya gina implement but only for one or two market segments lang. So the focus differentiator positions itself to compete with the primary differentiator in the market, but in only one or two of the market segments by focusing on one type of customer, such as, for example, for babies or elderly people or students or mothers. So depende sa imong target market. So, or perhaps you're only focusing your operations on one type of product such as mga organic foods. So this is the strategy I think used by the Gaisano Butuan. So as we know, di ba, the Gaisano has dili lang na siya grocery but lagyan na siya mga kuan food for business rentals. But because of the increasing competition in the mall operations, so Gaisano chooses to focus on its business model or on the business nga they think nga strength nila, which are the mga grocery items kay of course, 'di ba, very cheap yun ang ilang ang ilang products. So that's why they focused on that. So they expand the area nga ikuha nila for groceries, but less ang space for the rentals. Now we go to the corporate level strategies. Okay, so corporate level strategies. So corporate level strategy involves a long-term perspective. So managers need to continually consider how the changes are taking place in an industry, in technology, in customer preferences, and among competitors will affect the company's business model. So the current company's business model is not static. So from time to time pwede na siya mag-change. Depende sa situation sa environment. Okay? So like for example in the schools nowadays, so you're forced to shift to blended learning and to make use of the online classes. So we use some technologies to be able to do that. So just to survive in the market. So corporate level managers need to constantly be analyzing how the emerging technologies might impact the business models, how customer needs and customer groups might change as a result, and what new distinctive competencies will be needed. So the corporate level strategy is used to redefine and reposition the business model. So flexible ang business model in the changing environment. So these are some of the corporate level strategies that a company can pursue or implement. So the first level corporate level strategy is what we call the horizontal integration. So it is a strategy that involves acquiring or merging with competitors to achieve competitive advantages such as economies of scale. So so there are a lot of companies nga makig-merge siya sa iyang mga competitors or i-acquire niya iyang competitors. So of course para to reduce the tension in the competition, mag-increase ang market share, And at the same time, so kung mas daghan siya companies under niya, mas dako ang iyang purchasing power, kumbaga bargaining power. So for example, si Jollibee, so Jollibee Foods Corporation is not dili lang na si Jollibee nga fast food but gipalit niya ang Bang Inasal, ang Chowking, Red Ribbon, so and so on. So if you are buying your competitors or your direct competitors, that's what we call horizontal integration. So merging or acquiring. Another type of corporate level strategy is what we call the vertical integration. So it is strengthening the company's business model and improve the competitive position for many of the same reasons that horizontal integration is used. So kung horizontal integration is buying your competitors, in vertical integration, you're actually buying either your suppliers or you're buying your customers. So, say pasabot na. So, for example, na kay lechonan, okay, na kay nag-business ka og lechon, and then before you are outsourcing your pigs from different individuals, so nakita nimo nga medyo hassle siya kay na times nga available na set times nga dili, and kung na magka-shortage sa pigs o kay mabuhat kung dili patasan ang imong price. So later you decided nga ikaw na lang ang magbuhi sa or paliton nimo ang isa sa imong supplier of pigs. So paliton nimo iyang business so that ikaw na mismo ang naay control how to as to the supply of the pigs. So you invest in that business para maka-benefit ang imong other business. Or perhaps you have farm products. Okay, so na kay agricultural nga mga products. Now, you decided nga na nga mopalit ka og restaurant. Okay, so nakita nimo nga na nag-offer nga paliton ang iyang business, iyang restaurant business. So you buy the restaurant so that naip kapadulngan imo mga agricultural products. Okay. So that's called buying your customers. So vertical integration. Another corporate level strategy that a company can employ is the strategic alliance. So it is an alternative to vertical integration and horizontal integration. Kay sa duha, uh, you need to merge with other company or you have to acquire the other company. Okay, so it involves large amount of money and at the same time it causes problems kay ikaw pa ang mag-manage sa other company. Yeah, especially kung competitor na siya, so dili ka dayon makasalig. Okay? So alternative to those integration is the strategic alliance. So it is a long-term cooperative relationship between two or more companies to work together to develop a new product that will benefit of all of the parties to the strategic alliance. So kuan na kaana nila alliance na kanila or perhaps you have a memorandum of agreement na you will only develop this product na after this product pwede nga undang na ang agreement. Or you will work together permanently pero you will still retain your identity as separate company. Okay? So mo po niya ginabuhat sa government kung magkuan siya og mga infra, okay, mag-build siya mga infra, they develop partnership with mga private entities. Okay, so for example, partnership with San Miguel Corporation for the construction of the Bulacan Airport, or perhaps the Megawide for the construction of the rehabilitation of whatever airport or so and so on. Okay, so public-private partnership is actually an example of a strategic alliance. So after the project, of course, they have to return to each separate businesses. Another strategy is what we call the strategic outsourcing. So it involves the performance of one or more of a company's value chain activities by an independent specialist company. So, nahitabuan ni tanan involved sa value chain sa independent contractors nila ginahatag. Okay? Like for example, si Coca-Cola. So, so actually, ang business sa gyud ni Coca-Cola, ang operation sa gyud ni Coca-Cola is to prepare the cola syrup. Okay? So, kanang syrup na mo ay ginagamit to mix para to mix with the carbonated water para may mong soft drink. So kana ra gid ang ilang operations, but other than that, like the bottles, tansan, brand, ang logo mismo, I mean the packaging itself. So sa lain na siya nga company nila gina-outsource. So this is to really focus on the most important nga activity ni Coca-Cola, which is the creation of the syrup. However, having this strategy has also its downside or risk. So, ang risk po ani strategic outsourcing is the hold up. So, it occurs when the company becomes too dependent on the outsourcer and the outsourcer uses the dependency to increase its prices. But in the case of Coca-Cola, kay grabe man ang kuan ni Coca-Cola, yung power as a company. So, dili, of course, makakuha ng mga other outsourcing company. Especially if they are the exclusive supplier of Coca-Cola. So, dili sila pwede makasupply sa lain company but Coca-Cola alone. So, another risk is the loss of the valuable information kada kay mga entities involved. So, example sa mga valuable information is the awareness of the customer complaints. So, kakasayod niya, nanaday complaints about the brands, about the bottles. So, because you are focusing on the creation of the cola syrup. Then we have diversification. So it's entering into one or more new industries to take advantage of the company's distinctive competencies and business model. So you can diversify your products into a related industry. So let's say, for example, say Pepsi company is not only related to mga beverage or soft drinks, but daghan na siya mga food-related items, mga junk foods, and even mga other food nga products. You can also diversify into an unrelated industry. So, kasagaran sa mga conglomerate companies dito sa Philippines, mga dagko, mga Ayala, SM, they are well diversified. Okay, so for example, sa San Miguel Corporation, it's not only food and beverage, but they also have infra business. So that is why they are kung makadaog sila sa bidding, so katong nakadaog sila sa Bulacan nga airport. So it's because they also have construction nga firm. Or ang C family, dili lang na sila malls, but they also have banking business. For Ayala Corporation, so grabe na ka-diversified si Ayala. So aside sa Ayala Malls and other mga real estate nga business, so under the Ayala Corporation ang Globe, ang BPI, and I think the latest nga business nila is the AC Energy Corporation. So that business is involved into mga renewable energy. Okay? So producing mga renewable energy. Maynilad is under also sa Ayala. So ina naka-diversified si Ayala Corporation. So the reason why they need to diversify is because each businesses have different business risk or inherent risk. So for them to reduce that risk, so muna sila nga mag-venture sila into another industry. Then last step in the strategic planning process is to develop and implement the chosen strategies. So after formulating the strategies, of course, equally important ang making sure nga it is implemented smoothly. So aside from formulation, so the implementation plan must also be done. However, in the implementation, there are factors that must be considered. Okay, so one of them is the organizational design. So organizational design involves determining how a company should create, combine, and use the three elements to pursue the business model successfully. So organizational design ang, ang involve ang organizational structure, the control systems, and organizational culture. So we say structure, organizational structures. So in the implementation, it must be considered because we should identify who should do what and how it should be done, and how the various people and groups should work together so that they can increase, for example, the superior efficiency, the quality, innovation, and responsiveness. So the structure coordinates and integrates employee efforts at all levels. So mapa-corporate level, business level, or the functional level. The control systems provide managers with incentives to motivate the employees to work, to increase efficiency, quality, innovation, and responsiveness to customers. So it's making sure that the employees are doing the or implementing the strategy. So the control systems also provide feedback to managers on how well the company and its employees are succeeding, or perhaps what are the barriers or problems in the implementation of those strategies para makorek. Okay? Then lastly, you have the organizational culture. So it includes all of the norms, values, beliefs, and attitudes that people in an organization share. So it's actually how the employees or management behaves inside the organization. So what are their values? What are their beliefs? So it is the company's way of doing things, and it controls the way its members interact with one another. And it also affects the implementation. So kung medyo competitive ang inyong organizational culture, perhaps the implementation of those strategies will be faster. And if delay, then the opposite will happen. So the structure of an organization affects also its culture. And in order to change the culture, perhaps it is necessary to change the structure. So aside from the formulation, so in the implementation, we have to consider the organizational design of the company. So the purpose, of course, is to make sure we have a smooth implementation or smooth transition towards the new strategy. Okay, so although we discussed the different strategies, they're actually dili na sila independent from each other. They must complement each other. So if you are doing the cost leadership, so dapat napon na effect sa imong functional level strategies, so such as superior efficiency, or napon na siya impact sa imong corporate level strategies. So all of those strategies nga na-mention, functional, corporate level, global, and even business level strategies must be complemented, must be, kumbaga, connected from one type of strategy to another. So they should complement each other. So there you go. We are done with the strategic planning process. So we have discussed the formulation of strategies using the SWOT analysis, the four general classifications of strategy. So you have the functional, the corporate, the business level. So in the functional, we also discussed the four goals: superior efficiency, superior quality, superior innovation, and superior responsiveness. Then business level strategy, we discussed the how the market or how the business will position itself in the market. What are the decisions needed to come up with a fitting a business model? So the business level strategies. So we have the four competitive, generic competitive strategies. You have the cost leadership, the focused cost leadership, the differentiation strategy, and the focused differentiation. Then we discuss some of the corporate level strategies, such as horizontal integration or buying your competitors. Vertical integration is buying your either your suppliers or your customers. We have the strategic alliances, so it's not necessary to merge or acquire another company. So we can form partnerships with other companies to develop a new product. We have also the strategic outsourcing. So it's focusing on the activity that the forte of the company. So nag-focus siya sa iyang forte nga activity, then outsourcing other activities to outsiders. We have the diversification or entering into new business venture. The diversification can be related or unrelated. Then we discussed finally the development of the implementation of the chosen strategy and why organizational design is very important consideration in the implementation. Okay, so so that ends the discussion. So I'm now ready for any clarification or some questions you may have. Okay, you can make use of the chat box or you can use your mic to ask questions or clarifications. Okay, wala na. Okay, so if you have no questions, then that's it for today. So see you next Monday for another discussion.